Mm-mm. This is hot to hot. Yeah, so good night to everyone. I'm just sharing because it came like two in one. So I'm just sharing. Give me a second. Give me a second. Good night. My name is Texman Warren, and this is Heart to Heart with a woman with integrity, being it all, but keeping her shirt on, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna start this program tonight. Sorry for being late. On a Wednesday night, I'm doing two shows at once. So I'm ending one at 8 to start the other one at 8. So sometimes it run into 6 after or 7 after 8. Bear with me because I'm coming off one podium to come on to the other one. So my throat is parched. So give me a second. Mm, okay. So Doris gonna do the rest of the posting on this. Hi Doris, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I already posted.
Okay.
That's why I said, wait a minute. So I had to post. So I went out and post and come back.
Hallelujah. Thank God for Doris and Veronica that does the posting. Sometimes I'm so late with my post, but we give God thanks. I think this is my good side. Turned in this way. Okay, so finally, I would never sit with my head straight. Somebody approached me and then, why your head is always lean? I don't know, because it's big. I have no idea. My dad is the same thing. He never sits up with his neck. Probably because I don't have neck. It's always leaning down like this. There's no strength. I was never conscious of it until I saw myself in a picture. And I go, like, people is right. Okay, whatever it is. Good night, everybody. And I'm gonna bother
No,
with
text got
anyone.
me looking crooked.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's I see myself in a picture. In most of my pictures, my head is lean. I don't know. I take after my father with his big head, probably.
My head is never straight. I'm always moving left, right, sideways, but all
And my head
different
is always
ways.
lean like this. I think too because of the light, I have a acute sense of whatever the doctor is saying. So anything to prevent my eyes of hitting the light because it hurts so much, it's better to lean it or to see straight. I lean this way to see straight. I'll come back this way. But this is my nice leaning head area. Okay. Oof. So my day was good. It was painful, and then it was good, and then it was meetings, and then it was good, and so I cooked today. Hallelujah! If
Amen.
nobody clapped
Praise
for
the
me,
Lord.
that's their problem. Hallelujah! I've been cooking for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days now, 4 evenings now. I cook and I'm eating. So I mean, okay, so I'm not eating a lot, Tex. I gotta tell the truth. So I'm not eating a lot, but at least I'm eating. Huh?
What did
So
you cook, Tex?
okay. So today I made a soup. I made a soup, so I put dumpling and then I had potatoes and I add carrots And then I add some chicken, strip chicken, like chicken breast area, and just dump it in. And what else? Yeah, that was all that's there in it. When I eat about three bowls, three little bowls like this. So at least I eat, right?
Mhm,
So three
mhm.
bowls turning look like one bowl that I eat in. So it's not
You
bad at
put
all.
any onions, celery.
Tons of garlic, tons. Garlic galore. Oh, and I had an onion. Yeah, I put an onion in it. Yeah,
That was good.
yeah. So which means I'm getting better. I promise that I'm gonna stop cooking the noodles and cook proper food because I can cook proper food. I'm just a lazy person to cook.
Mhm.
Oh, and I bake bread. I have to tell you guys, I bake bread, but sorry, it was done in less than no time.
How did it turn out?
Huh?
How did it turn out?
Oh, it turned out good.
Oh,
It's just
really?
I eat it fast. I'm a bread lover, so yeah, I didn't bake like a whole set. Probably will bake about five. So I did like the wrong bread. I made it wrong. So I know about five of that, and unless so probably the Errol probably got half. I know that's bad, but um, I'm not gonna say
You have to
anything.
share your recipe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like a dash of flour, a dash of
Oh
salt,
my gosh.
salt, uh, um, some butter, a bit of a softener, which is the lard, and a thicker oil and a thicker, I don't know, just everything that's supposed to be in bread. And then I did a packet of yeast and I mixed everything up together. But it didn't come out like Errol bread. When Errol bake, it's a oh, it's a softer bread. He gets the softer one, but because I did mine in a ball like, so I did like a ball, so it come out wrong. And a certain greedy, bad habit person, I would not call. Put your hands down. That person, they just eat it, and poor Errol just get a half. God is good, Errol. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna bake for him one day. So I'm not gonna be baking again for a long time because I don't have no control over bread. And I was doing very good. You know, I stopped eating bread for about 2 months, which was good. But then I baked it and it went in a matter of hours. What a shame. So yeah, there it is. There it is.
Mhm.
I sin. I did it. I did it. I eat all. I'm gonna confess. I know he probably looking and say, at least confession is good for the soul. Well, I had help because he eat too. Well, I mean, not much, but it's okay. He got half. That's a lot. And there. So we're gonna start the show tonight, and the show tonight is a continuation of the 2:30 show today. I think that we did good. We get so much people came on and taking a good look at the 2:30 show today by giving the views and opinions of what they think about the show. They was able to put in the 2 cents, and I can find the show right now because I'm looking for it. There it is. So I'm just trying to throw off to clear my head to come into this program. Even though if I try, I'm still clouded. Oh, what was the thing for our program tonight? Helping men understand what they struggles. Did you write it down?
Helping men with depression. What should we do
Helping
to
men.
help men with depression?
Mm. So today we talk about depression. Oh, Doris, today we had a kind of a drama.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we did a little drama, not for much. Probably we did it for about, I don't know, about less than 5 minutes. We did a drama, and then Veronica was Susan Gimson. So I finally put a last name to Susan's name. So Susan Gimson, and we talk about her coming back to church. She was yeah, I'm an intercessory. She was a part of the biggest group in the church, which is the intercessory group. And she left and went out there, got pregnant with one child, and coming back with the other child. So that was Veronica and Minister, all of it. I was the pastor, and I was the bad secretary. Did I ever give the eye roll and the attitude? Yes, I was the bad secretary. And then at the end, I had to confess because that's who I was. In real life, I was a judger of people coming back they're into church, and they're coming back because they need of help. So I was talking about, oh my God, I know he's gonna want to buy a stroller, and then the Olivet played a part of my pastor, which is she did exactly what he does. Help Q, see if there was any finances or any food, and then I did the eye roll. And then to turn the pages, I just stick my hand in my mouth to turn the pages. So we had an awesome time today at the 2:30 show, and a lot of people came on. Madeline Scott was there, and she was talking about it's true that some people act in church and stuff like that. It was a nice little drama, and then we went back to reality. So tonight we want to talk about depression. We'll talk about it today concerning the ladies. That was the second part of our program. So tonight we're going to talk about this third phase of it for the men. Men truly go through depression. They say the average of them is 99% or 95% is a high percentage of men that struggle with low self-esteem. And because they struggle with low self-esteem, they go through depression. And because of the arrogance and they have to protect the manhood, I'm man, I'm this. And they does not, some of them don't get help. And then we talk about those that like John. Um, John is the type of person that will talk out. This is bothering me and this bothering me, so he just talk. But then they have some other men that don't talk. And then it have those that just will sit and cry, and finally you will talk to them and they would literally break down and tell you that they're having issues. And then it have the other type of men who just suck it in. They're called the introverts. They're thinkers, so they sit back in and they think and they think, and then they just do what they want to do. They go behind Susan, Carol, Christine, and they don't come out of it. They just go ahead from woman to woman to woman, looking for that love, or looking for that support, something to nourish their habits. And then when they end up getting sick. AIDS don't have a face. Sexual diseases don't have a face. And then they come back and they get all sick. So that's what we're trying to see if we can solve that by discussing it as ladies, what we can do here as a group of us here could come together and talk about it. I know. Oh, by the way, Teresa is not well. She's still recovering. So she's coughing a lot, so she cannot really talk much. So,
Mm.
but she says she's gonna try to come on the Facebook part tonight, and contribute on that side. So I'm just looking forward to seeing her tonight on that aspect of the show. I spoke to let me speak to two of the men that's supposed to come on tonight is still not able to come on for reasons I cannot talk about. Um, so we're just gonna trust God that one day they'll be able to come back on because they often say, I would like to come back on, I really like to come back on. But there are some reasons that I cannot talk about that they cannot come on, and we'll leave that at that junction. And all three of us are capable of talking because God has called us here for this purpose and this time to share light on men that is introverts. Sometimes I'd say intrepid because sometimes they just sit in and leave things in. It's like you have young men that go to the prison, and then they meet up with others in there and they get hurt. And when they come out, their whole life change and they just does not want to talk about their experience.
Mhm.
They come out and they're angry, or some of them like they just internalize it and they get very quiet and they're hurting alone inside and they refuse to get help. Those are the type of men tonight that I'm talking about. Those that really went through, or sometimes like they go to the army and they fight and they come back with this condition. Um, my brain's not working properly. They come back out and they in this kind of denial, like they cannot find themselves, and they have this condition when they come from the army, and then they're just very quiet and they just shut in, and you lose them for many years until now. So I think they form clubs and thing now where they can go in and they talk about the past and what they see when they see things. They don't know how to function afterwards. So those are the areas that we want to touch tonight. So at least men could know that there are ladies out here on Gemfm that's willing to sit back and give them an opportunity to talk. So at least they can bring it out, because some of for them with men to men, some of them still don't like to go because they don't want to be, they don't want to revisit that part of their life. And because of that, they become abusive in the home. They become very loud. They want to hit when certain things happen, or if you say something, they want to lash out on you because they don't know how to control themselves by just going out there and get help. It's so, to us it's going to be so easy, just go get help, but it's not that easy when a man um want to show his ego. I'm a man and I don't have to come down, and men are supposed to cry. We're supposed to tough it out. I don't know who teach men that. You got to be the protector of the family. Of course you are the protector of the family, you're the man, but man, is okay for men to cry. It is okay for a man to just let it out, just let it out. Men need to cry, and men don't cry because why? People like us as ladies say, oh my God, you're a sissy. He is not. Men have emotions, and men want exactly what a woman wants. There are some people that attack men and their wives are there, and you dare not cross that line. She will eat you. She will eat you from limb to limb. That's who we are. We are protectors. And they have some ladies, again, they don't care for you. They just use you, and then when you get in your weak stage of life, then they tell you, well, you know what, it's not working. There are some horrible ladies outside there that will take men and turn them upside down and cheat on them, be unfair to them, And then the men go out there and they look at others or other ladies as though they are the same one that the other one just dumped, because they take on things and they don't talk. So we're sitting here tonight to let them know it's okay to cry. It's okay. Don't study Lincoln. Lincoln and Peter and Ashley, they sit in the garage, and when they see those guys and them passing with their head down, man, take a beer, take a beer. And all he said, oh man, you have some problem home. And they said, man, I told him, man, she's crazy. There's no help. And he hear the word and there is no consolation, man. You go to the bar and you get a drink and everybody said, man, just take one, man. I know it's hard, it's hard, it's hard. There is no comfort for him. And if he's getting physically abused home, he can't even go to the police. Because the police, you mean that little lady, that lady is beating on you? What's wrong with you? You see, so regardless of where he go, he's cornered. So we want them to know that this is an outlet here that we are calling them just so they can sit down and talk. People came here and they get a lot of answers. But unfortunately, the majority is not coming back. So we're going to talk to them from here. Most of them is going to be listening tonight. They may not even put their name on the side, but I know a lot of them promise that they're going to listen from outside. So Veronica, how do you think that we should approach a man that is on his down leg or last leg or however you want to put it? How can we reach out to them? What else can we do to bring them back here?
Good evening, everyone. This is a very serious matter, I believe. And it is very hard to get men to talk about any of these issues that you mentioned. Most of them are taught either by looking at others or, seeing that other men don't express themselves, other men don't talk. And if they are fortunate enough to find at least one person to talk to, that could actually save their lives. Because men have so much pressure on them. It's a lot of pressure to be able to provide for a family. It's pressure to be able to make provisions and to educate your children and to love on your wife and to be a pillar of excellence in the community, to be a role model for the church, taking on the responsibility on the job, even sometimes overtime, or maybe not enough time on the job to provide for the family. So many things that men go through that may cause a depression, that may cause him to go under the radar. The activities that they usually partake in, they no longer take part in those activities. The things that usually bring them pressure, release, they no longer participate with those things. Some men sleep a lot. Some men get lack of sleep. It all depends on what is going on with that person. I think men and women deal with depression differently. I think that men tend to hold back. They don't want to discuss. And then you find some who just blurt out everything. They want you to know that they're hurt. They want the help. And for those who are able to talk, for those who are able to communicate and say, I need help, this is what's going on with me. I think those are the ones that will get help. You know, I would encourage every man, regardless to whoever he is, to have at least one female in his life that he can talk to. I highly recommend this. Highly. I think that if a man has someone in his life that he can talk to just about life and life in general, it would cause the stress to come down. He will be able to get another sense of what the other person may be thinking, because two heads is better than one. And some men, they reach out, they talk to other men. You know, I know at my particular church, we have a men's group that meet on Thursday nights, and they talk about men's stuff, right? They get down to the nitty gritty. They talk about the sex, the alcohol, the unprotected sex with multiple women. They talk about all of these things that men act out and do, right? They talk about how it is not helpful for them. Well, I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. I don't really know for sure. But I think
I thought you were there, so I'm going like, huh? What else did you hear?
Well, I know they talk about those issues because, you know, my pastor have mentioned, you know, a little about what they discuss in those meetings. You don't get into details. You don't get into personal testimonies or anything like that. But he encouraged the men to please participate in the men's group. And I know in our men's group, we have, and I noticed it because my son used to go to the men's group and I used to question him about, you know, what did you guys say? What was going on? And he says, I can't tell you, Mom. I can't tell you, Mom. He says, I can't tell you. He says, I don't care if you're angry. I don't care if you're upset. I just can't tell.
That's good.
We're sworn to secrecy. So I said to say that if men don't talk, if you know a man that doesn't talk and you know it's hurting him, please encourage him to get out and talk to someone, even if it's a stranger. Even that little bit of release can help him.
Men don't go to counseling. It's very hard to get a man to go to counseling.
Yes.
It's very hard to get them to talk to groups. I think men look at the condition as shame. So in order for them to go out there, they hold the shame. What this person's gonna think about me after. Who cares? That's your past. Just let it go. A woman will cry and she will tell you how much she's hurting. And when she's done, after she wipe her tears, she fix and that glasses, and she put on those stilettos and her handbag, and that burden is off. You can talk about it for the next 40 years. That's your problem. It's off of her. A man is not like that.
No.
Because men go through mental illness. Some of them, they go through mental illness, or some of them go through just mental stress.
Yes, and I'll be honest with you, Tex, a lot of it has to do with the criminal justice system. I know here in North America, when it comes down to Black and brown men, a lot of it has to do with the criminal justice system. You think about people, men who have been served so many years for sentencing for prison for non-violent crimes. They're taken away from their family, from their children, from their jobs, you know, from the church. They're taken away from all of those places to sit in a cell with no way of getting out for years and years at a time. And like you said, bad things happen to those people while they're in there. They create relationships that they should never have formed. They talk about things that they probably should never have conversation about. And if they were on the outside, they probably would never even imagine themselves having conversations like that. But, because this is our reality, and we, unfortunate, it affects the whole family. It really does. And not only does it affect the person who was incarcerated, who has been hurt, it hurts the wife, it hurts the children, and the surrounding community and extended family. It hurts everybody. Then you think about, another man raising your children. Wow, teaching them the values that they would have, not even giving honor to you. Men just go through so many things. You think about child support, how men are so depressed about child support. They think about the women who placed them on child support, and they said, oh, if that woman only would have worked with me and just allow me to just, get my bearings a little bit, maybe things could have been different. But no, many women, that's the first thing they do is run down to the child support place, and they taking out a petition against this person to pay child support. And a lot of times it's not even that person's child. So you think about it's so many issues that men go through that causes that depression. But if they could just open their mouth and just say something to somebody, I really truly believe that they will get some type of relief from it. I really believe that. But we can't even touch how many issues that men go through that cause hurt. I could think of at least probably about 200 right now, just off the top of my head. And like you said, we as women, if we have to be careful, especially when it comes down to Black and brown men. We have to be very careful how we look at them, how we view them, how we interact with them. We must do that. We must, it's a time to put pressure on a person, but it's time to also say, hey, okay, let me give this person a break. Because I don't want to discourage this person. I want to be an encouragement to this person. Because sometimes a person, all they need is a little help. Just a little help, just a little understanding, just a little hand up, maybe some advice, but most times, we walk around, you see the man with the smile on his face, or you see him sitting somewhere thinking. We never think to ask, hey, is everything okay with you? Is there anything that I can do to serve you today? Can I pray for you? We never think that. We just look at the person and say, oh, he must be got something on his mind. Or either look at him, he just don't have anything else to do. He just sitting there, not even realizing what the situation could be, that he's hurting on the inside, that he doesn't feel like it's anybody that he can talk to. And a lot of them would talk to their mothers, but if your mother is not there, then what? You don't have that trusted female. And I thank God for my brothers that, most times they come to me and they was like, hey, what you think about so and so and so? So I thank God that I'm there for them in that aspect, that I can say, hey, this is what I see. And I say, oh yeah, that's what I was kind of like thinking, but I just wanted to hear your perspective on it, So, thank God for my brothers that they do have me. Or if you have a sister, I would suggest that you reach out to that sister and, create a relationship with her where it's safe for you to talk to her about the things that's going on with you. And that's my take on it so far.
Doris?
Good evening, everyone. Depression. Hmm. That's a very broad subject. Depression comes in a lot of different ways that affects people. Um, it could be from a broken relationship, could be the death of a child, a mother, a father. So there are a lot of different things that causes depression. It's something that is difficult for men to address or acknowledge because of most people look at depression as a stigma and a shame to acknowledge it. But it's not a stigma. Everybody goes through something in their life, one way or another. So guys, you must not be afraid to speak out or to cry or to talk about what is affecting you, or bothering you. Um, getting a man to admit his depression is very difficult. You have to be able to give that trust and give them that comfort and make them comfortable to know that they can talk to you about it and open up to you about it. A lot of times they may turn to a male friend and quicker confide in them or talk to them if they don't feel comfortable with their partner, or they might go to a brother or a sister, um, or a trusted friend, a best friend or someone. But with a partner or somebody, you're the one that have to try, to deal with that. And to do that, first you have to understand the depression, what it is, what it's about, what's causing the depression, get to the root of it to know what it's all about. And then once you could get to the root of it and know what acknowledging it is the next thing, that is the step, is to acknowledge the problem and the depression. And a lot of ways you can, you have to be gentle about it. Try to get them to open up in a comfortable surrounding, a comfortable place. Maybe you have a special place you go out for dinner, or you go out to do something where you can open up that window that you get comfortable talking, where you can ease it out or try to get them to talk about what's bothering them. And, or some people, they go to the gym and, you work out, you can talk, and, you start just opening up, or a walk. Walking can do wonders. You and somebody will be walking and you will start talking about things you're not even aware that that just comes out naturally, because when you're walking enjoying the fresh air, the beauty of nature gives you that relaxation, that comfort. So there is different things. And I mean, depression drains people emotionally and psychologically. So many do not take that, or don't think about the consequences of how serious it is. Depression is a serious thing. People end up in hospital, people end up with breakdown, nervous breakdown. People end up in bad places if it's not dealt with. But is the approach you have to take to get them to speak about it and open up about it. And counseling is one of the things that you must try to implement there along the way. Because getting that counseling, but getting them to do it, you have to be able to, you have to bring up things about how important it is to you, to your relationship. If you have children, how it affects you and your children, and why you need to get counseling so your relationship could, that you could have a good relationship and deal with it. And it's not an easy road. Some people, it's easy for them. Some men, getting them to go to counseling, they have to admit that they are depressed and they have and something that's bothering them. Unless they can do that, they're not going to get counseling. And to do it, you have to know, really know what you're doing. And if you have to do, yourself have to find out what you need to do, because you hear stories. I was reading a story about, I think the man was a social worker. And he counseled people. And, he do a lot of things like counseling people and talking to people with depression and all that stuff and things like that. But he ended up losing a son. And then he himself got into that situation and didn't know how to treat himself. And his girlfriend, partner, didn't know, really what to do, didn't find out. She called his family, called them and tried to do. And I think it was 6 months. And she felt that 6 months was enough to get over it or stuff like that. And that relationship ended.
Oh my God.
Because she think it wasn't enough time. He should have recovered or he should have gotten over it.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, he got the help, he got the counseling, got better. Now, if she had taken the time to understand why he was depressed, acknowledge it, because losing a child is not an easy thing for someone to overcome. It takes time and it takes a lot. So if you don't understand the reasoning, you can't help that person. It's not a rush. You can't expect them and say they'll get better in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Something that takes time. And you have to be able to, and if she had taken time, because he did get over it, but if she had taken the time to stand with him, understand the depression, acknowledge it, and help him deal with it, that relationship could have been saved. So there is where understanding comes in and patience. And, try to work with them. Don't rush it. Don't get angry. That doesn't help. You have to understand what they're going through and you have to be, help them to deal with it. And that takes time. It takes work. And guys men is hard to acknowledge, because of shame, because of what their friends would think, because of things like that. So it's very hard for them. So when you do certain things, they withdraw. They don't open up. They withdraw instead if you handle it, the wrong way or say the wrong thing or try to push them and force them. You have to make it comfortable and build and let them know they can trust you. And you have to do it in such a way that they come out naturally on their own and not nagging them or, pushing them that they have to acknowledge it or get over it in a time frame. It's just working with them. So men, don't be afraid to speak to your wives or whoever is most comfortable for you, or be afraid to get counseling or talk about what's bothering you. It is not a shame. It's not a stigma. It's not a crime. And nobody will look at you differently. Well, who want to look at you differently? You know what I say? That's their problem, their business. Because people shouldn't look down to other people who have certain issues. We all go through something one way or another in a different form. So we must not look down on anybody, whether it's depression, whether it's whatever illness they're going through. Instead, understand it and be a help and try to help them or show them how to get out of that depression or whatever, anxiety and whatever it is going through. So we need to support the men and show them and build a comfort zone for them when they're going through that. And sometimes men get depressed if they can't provide for the family. They may not have a job where the children, can get, they can give their children what they want. They can give their wife what they want. And that makes them feel like, like they can't support the family or do, and they feel bad about it. But you shouldn't feel bad about it. It doesn't matter what you have. The fact is, once you're trying and once you're doing what you have to do, then that's what counts. So you must not look down on a man because he can't give you everything. Be happy with what you have and what he can give or what he can afford. Money is not, everything is not about money or gifts or stuff. And there are women who knows they left their husband or they left people because they can't do that. And they want that, but they can't give it to them. And then they go find someone with money or somebody that can give that. But are they happy? That end up in a whole different story, because the love of money is the root of all evil.
That's right.
And when people giving you, or you depend on somebody to give you money or give you everything, it's a form of control. It's a form of, just having control of you. Want to tell you what to do, what you should do, what you can do. This is no way to live. So when you're thinking about that, and people married for convenience and money, wrong notion. Money can buy love or happiness, because you can have, your children and your husband live happy no matter how little you have or what little you have. As long as you love each other, support each other, and help each other, and work together, you can have a happy, healthy, and good life. Don't let money be the destruction of your life or your relationship. It is not, that is not the key to your success or to your happiness. Money cannot buy happiness. You can have all the money in the world. That doesn't make you happy. If you don't have you don't have love, you don't have kindness, you don't have all that stuff, what is the use of money? You could be the most miserable person with all that money if you're not happy in that relationship. So don't let, a lot of people let things like that ruin their relationship, because the husband can provide, expensive gift or give them everything they want. We didn't come in this world with money, and when we leave, we can't take any of it with us.
That's right. So depression sometimes come with mental illness. Sometimes alcohol cause a lot of that. It's spin out from all that. Sex addiction, different type of drugs, and emotional needs. A whole heap of baggage. And two, we have a young man that was raped. I had a movie once when I started the Wednesday night show. We used to do the clippings of men that's really going through. And this one young man, his mother started sexually abusing him at a very tender age of 5 years until he was 14 years. They had another one was his sisters, right into his 21st years, having sex with him, taking turns. Now he's a druggie on the street. He do a lot of alcohol, sex addictions. He's into everything. You know, there's a lot of suffering out there for men, and if men will take the proper counseling, they will get help. But what some men do, they get counseling from younger boys instead of going to older men. Yes, they have some men like that. They will go to, if they have a young colleague, they'll go to the colleagues and they'll talk to the younger guys. So what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And they get a counseling there, not going to proper counseling. And there are some men that they're Christians, and you see the church will root for that person. They'll try to get all kind of help. The churches really go out to help men, because if you watch most of the churches here in North America, lack of men. They have more ladies. They'll come out every night to prayer meeting. Every time the church door open, like the ladies are there. Because why they coming to hear something so they can go back home to tell their husbands. So at least the man could get help, but yet still, you know. That's why when John read the stat says 50% of Christians get divorced. And I don't believe it's because of the woman going to church. I believe that that's the only place of refuge for her, to be in the presence of God. Because I know of a woman, my God, she's such great pillar. She's a pastor. She's in a certain country. And her husband was never a Christian man. She's a pastor, and he was not a Christian for many years. After many years, the children get old and starting to have grandchildren, then he became a Christian. She stood the test of time. And they have many, 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 many marriages today that the men are not Christians, but they stood the test of times. And then they give their heart to the Lord. I know women who they married to Muslims. The husband are Muslims and they're Christian. I had one of the guy who came and do the internet here from Rogers. He's a Saudi and his wife is a Muslim, a Christian Muslim. I said, well, how could you be a Muslim and be a Christian? He says, yeah, she got converted. But he is not a Christian yet. I say, she go to church, she take the children to her church. And they come, they have Bible study in a home. He does not take part, but he said, very soon I'll be taking part because I can hear them reading. I listen to them. And have a lot of people that is not Christians, and at least they sit and talk. Talking about unsaved men and women. Some of them, they live good life because they know how to communicate. You know, it's really, it's sad, but it's something that men have to come together and understand their home. Because the Bible call them to be the head, and the choice is always theirs. Because if God called you the head, and you cannot be the head in your own home, you cannot be the head of anybody else's home. Doesn't matter how you live and you go to somebody else's home, you can never be the head because that's not where your calling is. You know? But hey, we give God praise and thanks. We pray that someday they'll get it. Someday they'll get it. Someday we pray that it's not too late, that something is going to work for them and they too will come to know the Lord Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior. You have a lot of pastors that they are pastors, and then you look twice because of their emotions, because of what they're going through, they still fall, right? It's sad. It's sad to see when a pastor fall from grace and all the members in them that follow them, they got hurt because of that, and then they go out and they don't come back. Well, if he could fall, I can live that. So they go out. So we got to be careful of who come around us and what we saying around them that would either encourage them or bring them back to the pit of hell where they come from. Like I often said, God is not watching those that put in problems or afflicting you in every way and saying all manner of evil thing. God is watching you, the individual, because life and death is in the tongue, yeah? And you can say something to bring them closer to God, or you can tell them something that will spiral them right in the pit of hell. So our demands and our solution here is to bring wholeness to others. Let them know how much God loved them. As God forgive me, he could forgive you. I may not have the same walk that you walk, but we all have a past. The first time I heard somebody say that, I was just in my 20s, coming into my early 20s. And I says, what nonsense past is she talking about? So apparently I said it too loud. So after church, she come and she told me, she says, we all have a past. I said, yes, so what does that have to do with me? She said, I heard what you said. So everybody have a past. What is my past? She said, listen, little girl, let me tell you something. You may not have the past that I have, but you have a past. So I said, okay, well, tell me. She says, what did you do when you was 14, 15 years old? I said, get licks for having a mouth? She said, yeah, that's your past. So when you get big, you're going to talk about that because that's your past. Okay. Then I get married at 25 and you hear people talking about, yeah, and your past and you have a past and everybody have a past. And I'm going like, when I was young, they talk about a past. I'm older now, they're still talking about past, so that past does not end. We all have past. We all have something to go back to. And no matter how much education you have, nothing beat you having a personal experience. Because you can talk about that. God can call you into that same ministry and you can help people because now you understand pain. So you can help people. Back then I was young. What is she talking about past? She past is a problem. But when I mumble, I often think that nobody hears what I say, but people do hear what I say, so I stop mumble. All righty, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I have a question. Are you humble? That was a question today. Minister Olivet is watching. Olivet is watching. Um, yeah, am I humble? That was a question today on the Dateline show. When when I read it, I said, God, tell me I'm humble. And then I said to myself, if you put that finger up today, me and you will talk after the show. So my hand is busy. I have something in my hands. So my finger would not go up because I've threatened to break it tonight, to finish it tonight. So I have something in my hand. And in my next hand, I'm holding my lips, my cosmetic lips product. So my both hands are busy. Am I humble? Yes and no. Yes and no. Like I said to that show today, I says I'm an extrovert, but I'm not sociable, according to my son. I think I'm a very sociable person. My son say no, I'm not. My son is an extrovert with a social butterfly life. I am not like that. And I don't know why. I'm an extrovert, and I could be an extrovert all the time, but once I'm outside, once I'm outside, the story changed. So I'm kind of shy if I don't know my environment. People think that I'm standoffish. People think that I'm fussy, but I'm not. People think that I think of myself, which is I'm not. Um, so I can say that, but at the other end of the spectrum, I have to understand where they're coming from. And are they speaking truth? Most of the time, yes. Because it's not that I'm stush or think that I'm better than anybody. It's just that um, if I have to talk, I will talk. If I have to be on a stage, I'm not too sure. I'm in church. I talk to people in church. Most people are going to say no. But I do talk to people in church. Don't pay no attention to them. I do talk to them. I'm in church. I sing. In church on Sunday morning, you come to worship, so you don't come to socialize. And after church, it's not time to socialize because you just want to go outside to get a little bit of sun that is left so you can come home. But I talk and laugh a lot. But I don't understand why I shy in when people come to me. If I don't know you and you come to me, depends on where I am. I talk to people on the road all the time. Hi, I tell people that I love them. And then, but just when if I'm going out and Alan is around, you'll see me tense to shy behind them because they're quicker to talk. And they're all kind of don't know much to say things. I just will be quiet or put my head down and get busy thinking. Or if I have a pen, I will be writing for the whole time. But I'm an extrovert, and I'm very proud of that. An extrovert that is misunderstood, but I'm humbled. Depends on my environment, I'm not humble. Depends on where I am. I'm very protective of myself. So I may come out very in a harsh tone, but not even angry. I just will let you know that you cannot step over me and that will never happen. So I don't think that I'm humble there. It depends on where I am. I think so. Most of all, I'm giving myself 8.5 and where humble is concerned. I can't give myself a 10. We don't talk already. Keep your hands down there. Doris, are you humble?
Well, I'll say, like you said, I am and I am not. It depends on, um, the situation or the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that we can be humble about things, and there are times we are not so humble. Um, I think humble in a lot of ways of, being respectful to people. Um, Apologize if I think I'm wrong, humble enough to say I'm sorry. If I know that I am wrong, I would pretend that I'm right if I'm wrong. So in those kind of ways, I'm humble. I admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I am not humble if somebody, I get mad if somebody tell lies on me, somebody accuse me wrongly. My humbleness get a little bit on the other side. So I think,
Doris
I
is a
have changed.
7.2.
I have changed a lot in that. I have learned to keep my cool and not to lose it so easily. So I've become very humble in that way. I take a deep breath, and sometimes I just let things go because it's not what the outcome. Because some things, sometimes little things, simple things make us get mad, get us upset, and we blow it out of proportion, take it out of context, and then sorry later. Then try to humble ourselves and say we are sorry and apologize. So in both ways, but over the years, must say I have learned to become more humble than I used to be in a lot of ways. The way I act, the things I say, how I approach people in those forms. So, I've learned not to be so rude or be so, quick to look at people in a funny way and say things. So, and I think that comes with doesn't just comes like humbleness doesn't just come like that. I think when you start a walk with God and you start trusting and believing, that is where your humbleness start coming in. You start looking at things in a whole different way, and the way you interact with people, the way you treat them, the way you speak to them, the love you show to them, and the kindness you show to them. And I think that's where mine started coming in when I started going to church, learning more about God, and learning, believing more in those things. So I think this is where my humbleness started coming in, and I have to say I'm a very quiet person, humble person like you. I would go out, and if I don't know people, I wouldn't say, anything or just go up. Some people will meet somebody and they'll just go up and start a conversation like they know them.
Yeah.
Or I am not, I don't approach people like that. They say hi, I'll say hi. They say hello, I'll say hello. But like to just go up to them and start a conversation and I was like, wow, people can do that. They're talking like, do you know each other? No, we just met. And you're talking like y'all friends forever. No, and some people are born for that, and it comes naturally. No. I'm on the quiet side. If I go somewhere, I'll stand on the side, or if I'm there with a friend or a family, but I wouldn't go socialize or mingle or just start a conversation with people. Somebody say hello, I'll say hello, or they ask a question, I'll answer. But just to go up with them, just walk up to them and do that. I'm not thinking I'm there. And I think I've been like that. I've been on the quiet side like that. I was never that kind of person to just approach people like that. I don't know if it's a good thing. I've seen people do it. Veronica just met people on the street and just start talking like, and she'll go, the last time me and Veronica sing it, and we were there, and I was like, Veronica will talk and make conversation and talk, and Veronica don't know the person from A to Adam. And I'm standing waiting, and I'm like, is Veronica going to stop talking and just go, let's just go? And I remember one time we went to the someplace shopping, and Veronica was talking, and we were there talking, and she stopped. I said, Veronica, could you please open the door? Ricardo was locked, and Veronica just talking away and having that conversation. I said, sir, excuse her. So, and these are the moments you think about sometimes, and you laugh, and so like, Veronica have a natural gift for that. Just start, talking and stuff. In the times I go, we go out together or do things, she'll start a conversation with someone. I'm not that bold-faced to just go up or just see somebody and start a conversation. So, but it's a good thing. It's probably a good thing to have, the ability to do things like that. Well, you see, now you know how shy I was. I wouldn't come on social media. I'm afraid to talk. I'm afraid to speak. Or afraid to say anything. And I used to be like, oh my God, who is listening? What are they saying? And I let that was mind over matter. I let those things control my ability to speak and worry. And now I'm like, yep, I may not say everything right. I may not do everything right, but this is what learning is about. This is where you get experience. This is where you grow, and this is where you branch out. So I thank God for the gift of the encouragement from, you and John, and telling me that, you can do it, and giving me the time I needed to take time to get myself together and get my mind together, and then decided, you know what, I need to do this, because if I don't, how would I get out of that, what I am so afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
So, this is where we know we all have the ability to learn and grow if we let ourselves do it and open up ourselves to it. There is nothing like I cannot do something. You can put your mind to anything you want to do. Mm-hmm. If you believe and you have the mindset that, you know what, I can do this, I'll try, and I know I can accomplish. So it's mind over matter. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes we let those things keep us down and deter us because of our mindset, just telling ourselves, I can't do this, or I don't think I can do it. Because, I remember we used to, like, I had gotten, into this Mary Kay. And, the director was talking about doing lives on Facebook and doing videos and put up. And I just couldn't get myself to do it. I couldn't. But now I'm at this place now where I feel, and I'm becoming more and more comfortable expressing myself, talking. And you see, this is how you learn and grow. So folks, don't be afraid to take chances. You never know until you try. It's better to try and fail than not to try at all.
Yeah.
So, this is how you learn and grow. And I thank God that I've become more humble. I'm not quick to jump the gun. And, back home, we used to call that bacchanal people,
Yeah.
fussing and quarreling and getting in confusion with people over here, say, they say, or somebody might say, I've learned to be humble and say, you know what? I just leave it to God. They want to tell lies. They want to say, they want to accuse me. As long as God know the truth and I know the truth, if anybody else want to believe, because if somebody really know you and know who you are, there are things that they will know. I would not believe that because I know that person. Because, you learn things about people and certain things you could say, that is not like that person. And before you jump the gun or conclusion, just get the facts, find out, get to know the truth before you do that. So these are things before you. So as soon as somebody says something, you're ready to jump the gun and get into thing with that person, and we call it confusion. So that's where humbleness comes in. Sometimes you just have to let things go and take it to the Lord in prayer.
My problem with that is concerned. I don't defend myself. Whatever you want to say, say. Whatever you want to assume about me, you could assume. It's wrong. It's not good because you should let people know that you didn't do something, and then at the end of it, you say, "Well, if that's what you think, I'm sorry. God will defend me, and you will see it." In less than a year, it will come back to you, and then you would say, "Oh my God, so you really didn't do it. I don't have to defend myself." That's why I tell people, don't call me and tell me lies. I will find out the truth within 24 hours, and I don't have to call anybody. It comes to me. So I don't defend myself, which means I told myself I would stop saying those things. It really doesn't matter what anybody say about me. It doesn't make me taller, and it sure would not make me shorter. That's your negative opinion about me does not depict who I am. So probably that's why my mother said, "Look at you. You think as though you own the world. You walk as though the world and belong to you. You're just taking up space. That's all you're doing." That woman with the hurtful words. Veronica, are you humble?
I am humble. I'm humble at times.
Oh, that voice change. That means that
And
you
times I just want to say,
you will
I
be
just want to say,
6.2 at the end of your conversation. Go ahead, I'm listening you.
I just want to say to you that sometimes people may have good things to say about you. You should take in consideration for that as well. Please do. Yeah, please
Yeah.
do. So getting to myself, I want to believe that I'm humble, but I've also been told by family and friends that I can be very matter of fact with people.
What does that mean?
Meaning that I will tell you exactly how I feel without taking your feelings into consideration.
Bad girl.
I don't view myself that way, but other people have viewed me that way. And more than one, two, three people have told me the same thing. They said, "Oh,
Okay.
you just say things and you don't even take in consideration who's around, what's going on. You just blurt it out."
Okay. Now I have an excuse for you. You're not 50 yet, right? Yeah.
I just turned 50.
Yeah. So there is a lot of excuse on your side. When you're young, you're foolish. When you get to that age, then you're gonna say, "You know what? I'll take into consideration." So Doris is for some second, and guess who come last? You.
So,
But sometimes it's not really being raw. You're just an honest person. So you just say it, but you say it in the you see that's why we learn you say things at the right time in the wrong season. And in the wrong season, it can hurt more than anything else. So go ahead and then yeah, I'll talk about that after.
yeah. Yeah, I just, I don't really have much to say. If I feel like I'm wrong about a situation, I don't mind saying, "Hey, I'm sorry." I don't mind apologizing. And the reason why I try to humble myself is because relationships are very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very important to me. Once I bond with the person and that person then becomes a part of my circle, I try to keep that person a part of my circle because I know it's not many people I'm going to let in. So, I always try to keep in consideration about those who I'm around. I try to take in consideration about the things that I say. And am I perfect? No. Doris will tell you, nope, she's not perfect. Just the other day, Doris had tell me off. Like, I wish she could have saw me on the phone. I was like, okay, Doris, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And she just kept going back at it, back at it, back. I said, okay, Doris, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Okay, okay, okay. And she went back at it. I said, oh my God, lady. I said, okay. And I thought about you, Tex. And I said, Tex, just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But she just kept going on and on. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to let her have it because she's right. Right. And I thank God for friends who are able to tell me when I'm in error.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would rather for her to tell me when I'm in error so I can correct myself, because I don't want to go around looking like the fool. I don't want to go around looking like the person that is not taking consideration of other people's feelings. I want to be able to be approachable. I want to be able to be loving and kind and considerate to people. I want to be the kind of person that people come to and say, hey, can I talk to you? Can I get some advice from you? I want to be that kind of person. And I strive to be that kind of person. And then not only that, the Bible says that we should humble ourselves. And I try to keep that in consideration and
Yes.
humble myself. Now, there are times that I don't feel humble. And I will give you an example. I'll give you a recent example. I went to one of the associate pastors in my church, and I asked him about a specific situation, and I didn't like the answer he gave me. He just kind of brushed me off. And I thought about it, and I said to him, I said, now, this answer is like, I said, BS. I didn't say the word BS. And he looked at me and he says,
Where's the soap and water? It should be S.
I said the letters BS, not the word BS. I
Yeah,
said,
but you
this is
mustn't even say the okay. You're in for
listen.
trouble.
I said, this is BS. And I said, this is not the way we should be. This is not the way. And to be honest with you, I was upset with him because I don't even want to say why.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say why because it's just a difference of opinion. But I'll say this much, as a tither, right? As a tither, I expect certain things for my money to go toward. If it's going to go toward the church and the ministry, fine. If it's going to go to the outreach, fine. But why should it go out to certain outreaches versus others? We can't consider one person's and their feelings and what's going on with them and not the other. I mean, that's not the way the Bible says that we should go. We should do. If you see that a person is in need, you go to that person. You don't say, well, we don't support this kind of person or these type of people. You have to show love across the board. So I was kind of upset. And during that time, I was not very humble. And, I had messaged him early in the week, and I was waiting for his message back, but he never messaged back. And now I understood why he never messaged back. And he never messaged back because he knew how I would react. He knew that if he had put something in writing, that I may have possibly went to the senior pastor, and he would have been in a lot of trouble. And I respect that. And I just told him, I said, unfortunately, this is the day that we're living in, and I don't like it. He says, I don't like it either. But what can we do? But I say, speak up. You're in this position for a reason. Speak up. But because, sometimes when we as people of color, Black folks, when we're in a position and there's a lot of kind of white counterparts around, certain things that we can't talk about because they feel like we're the angry Black woman or the angry Black man, right? That we are hostile. So certain things you can't bring up, certain things you would like to, but he felt like, at this particular church, at this particular time, it is not a good time to bring that up. God may bring a position or a place where that can be brought up, but now is not. He felt like now is not the time. So, I agree to disagree. So, but this is the issue. And I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to be swept under the rug. I think it's going to be even more people who acknowledge what they see. And I think it's going to be more people asking questions. So.
Can I answer a question? Did it come up on a Sunday? Did you approach the situation on a Sunday?
I'm not sure if it was a Sunday or Wednesday. I'm not really sure.
Okay. So a service night or a service day is never a good time to bring up situations.
Well, our church is a different setting, right? Because after the service, we always have I guess you can say downtime, where we go and we have this big dining area where everybody goes, everybody talks, and people just talk about life, talk about everyday issues and stuff like that. So we have a setting like that where we have a coffee bar, tea bar, or if you want to get a smoothie or whatever it is, you want to get some dessert or something, whatever, we have that area where after the services, that's where everybody meets up at. So it's a place and a time.
Place.
Yes. We have that. And thank God we do, because there's a lot of people, it's a lot of conversation that goes on. I'm telling you, I have been there many days, and the services get out at 1:30, and we're there to 3:00, or in the parking lot. They can't, they locking the doors and turning off the lights, and we're still in the parking lot, talking.
I'm not going to that church.
Yeah, I mean,
it stressed me out.
The thing about it is
all
the church
3:00 you're talking.
Still talking. Yeah, just about life. And because just think about it, you only get to see these people here. Well, it depends on how active you are, right? You get to see them on Wednesday, you get to see them on Sundays. Sometimes you get to see them on Thursdays if you're a man, or Tuesdays if you're a woman. You have these different groups. You have Bible studies in your homes. So we do a lot of interaction. It's a lot of conversation that goes on in those small groups. So it is what it is. We talk. Everybody in our church, we talk. Everybody talks. You know, um,
That can land you in a lot of trouble. Huh?
well, me personally, I try to keep it positive. I try to keep it lined
Okay.
up with the word of God. But it is certain things that I see. And I think now I'm just more sensitive to what's going on in the world and how the church reacts toward those things. I
Yeah.
think me personally, I'm just, sometimes I have to say, well, Veronica, just choose your battle, please. Don't get involved. Because if you ever get on a particular subject, Doris will tell you, oh my God, there's no stopping. No stopping.
I think you need to go home on some Sundays straight after church.
Well, I used to do that before I was involved with, got plugged in with the church. I think for the first 2 years I was in Florida, I just went to church, came home, went to church, came home. And then one day, one of the head ushers said, why don't you join the usher board? And I said, the usher board. And I thought about it. I said, well, my mom used to be on the usher board. Isn't that for older people? But then he's like, no, come in and see if you like it. And I started noticing that people my age was on the usher board, and, even younger. And we became family. And, even now we have a group text message on WhatsApp that we're always messaging one another, and we're always encouraging one another. So, you know, a lot of communication again, so we do Zoom together. We live life together. That's what we do.
I am very involved in church, but as an older person, I'm telling you, it is always safe to keep your mouth. Some people gonna hear is, and they will say that they hear are. Some people would hear they say, "Oh, she said them." So because of that, it's always safe to protect your image, to protect who you are, and don't be on the hefty sides of others. You see,
You
you're
know,
you're a bit young and you still have this curious mind. But when you get to our age, so it's gonna kind of die off. It's okay. Because not like you're like a kid in a candy store. You're just learning. So you're a sponge, so you take in everything. But it's okay.
Doris. I'm sorry to call you Doris. I'm
What's
sorry,
up, man?
Tex.
That was
Tex.
number two.
In our church, we have like and I don't want to brag on the church, but I love my church. We have a space, like when we do small groups, right? Whatever is said in that small group stays there. It does not exit out of that group. If what is being said is taken to someone else and becomes public, that person is no longer, nobody wants to be a part of that person, want that person in their group,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So whatever is, and I think Doris, she's been in small groups before. Whatever is said at the table stays at the table, unless you, of course, decide at the end of the study you might want to get up and testify to something. But if not, whatever is at the table, no matter how intimate, no matter how hurtful, no matter how shameful, it stays at the table.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the kind of environment that we have at our church. No nonsense.
Okay.
Everybody wants to love, and everybody wants to be supportive. And I thank God for being a part of a congregation like that. No bite biting, so to speak.
Mhm.
Talking about, oh, who she thinks she is. And I'm not saying that it's not there, but I haven't seen it, and I've been there for 7 years. I haven't seen
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
it.
That's good.
Yeah,
So,
we're all about saving souls.
Minister Oliver says, God is good. He made us so special. Humility is our personality, and yet a humble servant of God. Yes, Doris. She's talking yeah, I'm to Doris. That's what makes you unique.
Yes.
Hallelujah. I love that. So I'm gonna put a love by that. Rebecca is on. She said, good night, ladies. Blessings.
So Rebecca, blessings from us.
Hallelujah. Yeah, so I'm happy that we had this little talk tonight, and we indeed show that we are humble in so many different ways, because I will just tell it as is. I don't mix my words. If I don't like something, I either go very quiet, and people would not ask me. They just say, "Oh, she's just quiet." If I Because sometime depends on where I am, I choose to stay quiet, because my tone of voice may perceive to some people very harsh, so I would not talk. But if I don't like something, I don't make you think that I like it. You will know I don't like it. So the main fact you'll try it again would not happen. I give people chances and chances and chances and chances, but I don't give them chances smiling. When you come and I watch you, you would not even open that mouth of yours. I don't get, I don't have time for that. I don't beat mouth. That I find that's for idlers. I don't quarrel. I don't like to quarrel. If I'm home and Errol is here, I'm prancing around and see all kind of thing and make noise because he's quiet. That's totally different. But if he get up and he says, "All right, Texler," I just go in my bed. I would, if I was coming down the hallway, I make one U-turn. I go back in my bed. I don't ta ta ta. You say ta 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 ta. I get tired very 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 quick, and I get headaches. So I don't like to beat mouth, but I will tell you what I think. And when I'm done talking. From ever since. And that's the thing that my mother don't like about me. But she's old now. She's not even thinking about that. And that's when she used to say, this. You don't talk, you don't say anything. And then when I talk, she says, you're rude. She don't like to know that she's not a good person. She don't like to know. And if she says something when my father come, I'm telling him exactly what she's saying. And then she says, oh, that's all you do. You bring news on people. But I'm talking. And it's a problem. So I tend not to talk. And when I go very quiet, people think that I'm angry at them. But I just go quiet. Why? I don't know. I can be very jovial, and then I get very quiet. It's not that I'm angry, I'm just quiet. I have this quiet side of me. When I go quiet, it disturbs so much people. How come just all of a sudden, so you're just not talking? Are you angry at us, especially in church? Are you mad at me? You're just not talking to me. You pass in, I say hi, you just say hi. And you don't even turn around. Okay, you know, I'm an extrovert, but there are times that I get very quiet. Sometimes it lasts, sometimes a whole 2 years. I'm just in this quiet space, and then I come out of it. What caused me to go in there? I don't know, but I get very quiet, and people think, oh, you're shutting people out. You don't like people, you're shutting people out. But sometimes I just need to find me. I need my quietness to breathe and to think, and nobody appreciate that. Nobody. Everybody get angry with me. And it's not something I do, it's just that there are levels that God will put you on, so he will minister to you. And I don't know if I am 58 and people don't figure it out yet. So I'm an extrovert that is misunderstood, and people take it personally. And no, I'm just don't have time to say, well, this is what I go through, and it's nothing to about you, is nothing that I have in my heart against you. I'm just internalizing a lot of things. I need to change me. I need to fix me. I need to get closer to God. I need to know where I am with God. I need to know my space with God. And people get all antsy about it. It's nothing I can do.
Tex, let me ask you, when you're quiet like that and among people, is it because you're analyzing the situation or analyzing people, or just trying to figure out where you stand and among those people, or where they stand among you? Or I mean, is it that you're
It's just a quietness that just bring me to a quiet place. People could be around, they talking, but I don't hear them because I'm just zoom out, and all I can hear is scriptures, or I can hear myself praying, I can hear the Lord speaking. So I'm more focusing on what He is saying than what I'm hearing. Because I've learned as a child how to turn off voice. So when it turns off, it's hard to turn it. I cannot turn it back on. I don't know how it comes. I don't know when it comes. I don't know. It's just something that happened. It's not depression. I'm not hurting. I'm not sick. But it just happens. Sometimes it happened for a whole year. Sometimes it goes for a whole 2, 3 years, and it's nothing that I've done. It's just that. And then when I come out of it, then I'm okay. Like I will talk. I'm very bubbly, and then I would just want to just be alone. That's when you see the most notebooks, or you see Bible, or you just see a whole pile of paper, just writing, stacking, filing. I don't know what it is. I think, and my mom is like that. She just will go through that quiet period of her life, and then she'll come out of it. And but
I think we as women, I think all of us experience that to some point in life. I think we all
I grew up
experience it.
with it's 5 of us. My father has 5 of us, and I grew up as an only child, but I'm not an only child.
Wow.
I'm not an only child. And I tell people that from since I was small, I'm not an only child. I just grow up as though I'm an only child, but I'm not. I'm just
How is that possible that you can grow up as just an only child?
because my personality and my sisters and my brother are not the same. They make noise. They make a lot of noise, and I cannot take noise. I don't know why. I just can't take noise. So because of that, I'll just go into myself.
Yeah, well, I think it's like that with a lot of families because I'm like no one else in my family either.
Yeah. Sometimes I ask myself, do I really come from them? Am I part of them? Where is the so I just grew up by myself. I don't know how to explain it, but
You
I'm
know
not
what I've
a
learned?
child. Huh?
You know what I've learned about myself though? I've
What?
learned that because I used to be a child, a quiet child. I didn't used to wouldn't say anything at all to anybody, not even in the family. But I learned that as I get older, the more I communicate with my sisters and my brothers, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
A lot in common. Even like I can say, oh, today I had a headache, right? And you can call my sister Michelle or used to call Trish, and she's like, I had a headache all day. And I'll call my brother and he's like, I can't get over this headache. So it's like we have so much in common that sometimes I know when I'm going through things or I'm having a bad day, I said, God help them because I know somebody in the family is probably experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing. And I just
Because
ask God to,
I was talking to my brother the other day, and he said people that say this and that, but it's not that you don't care, you just don't hear. But people think that you don't care. It's not that I don't care, according to him. I just don't hear. I don't hear. Sometimes You could be here and you're talking to me and I don't hear you. I'm minding my own business internal. I don't know what I'm doing. Then I just don't hear you. So I talk a lot to myself probably, and I think that make me think that I have a lot of people talking. I talk to myself, I question myself. We'll be talking and laughing, just me and myself alone. And who are you on your phone? I'm like, no. But who are you talking to? On myself. So all I say sometimes, when you come in to talk to me, say my name first or say something to let me know that you're talking to me. Because you're always talking to yourself, and all of a sudden you ask me a question and I don't answer and you're vexed. I said, yeah, but I asked you a question. He says, but you're always talking I'm to yourself though. So when you're asking me the question, I don't know. So I enjoy me in myself. Is that a mental illness? I don't know, but I like
No,
it.
that's perfect. That's the way it's supposed to be. If you can't enjoy your own company, how do you expect the next person to be able to enjoy you?
Yeah.
Right?
So I was happy when he said that. Hear me. Well, finally somebody understand me. Like my mother used to say, mm-mm, I think the disease is on. I'm not sick, lady. I'm not sick. She said, look at you, just sitting in the corner. You eat? I know you shower, but did you eat? Well, no, I'm not hungry. So because of that, I used to suggest, and then she used to quarrel about food. You have to eat, you have to eat. So I think because of that, I I don't like to eat. Probably I'm still punishing myself because of a mouth. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm very happy being me. And people think because of that I push people out. I don't push people out. I wish people come around. But people don't know me. People misunderstood me a lot and say, oh, she's standoffish and she don't talk to people. And you know the conversation that I'm going on in my head? And then I had to write it down in a book. so, so that's me in a nutshell. That is Tex Manwaring in a nutshell.
Tex, you just described my sister Michelle. You remind me so much of her.
Yeah.
She's as you were saying that sometimes when you're in the midst of people and you're quiet, I know she goes internal and she internalized everything. And she's sitting there and she's thinking her own thoughts, right? She's deep in thought,
Oh.
but the thoughts that she's having sometimes are not good for her, right? She's looking and she's like, look at her. She don't like me either. Yeah, look at her.
I don't
Oh,
have that. No, I don't have that one because I know that I'm gorgeous, so it does not matter what people think. I'm so gorgeous and radiant, and everything about me is perfect in the sight of God. So it doesn't where
my
that
and
is
my sister, she
concerned.
feels that way too. She feels
Yeah.
like, because she have on a designer clothes that people don't like her. And I said, Michelle, people are not thinking about you. She's like, yeah,
I
but they
don't
don't
wear
like,
designer clothes.
huh?
I don't wear designer clothes. I look at that as a waste of money, and I'm buying clothes just because of somebody's signature. And I can go in the next store and buy it for $14 and it look just as better as the designer clothes. So
No,
it
my
does
sister,
not throw me off.
she's always been the one to wear the red bottom shoes, the high expensive purses, the hairdo, the makeup, the expensive makeup, the expensive perfume, the jewelry, the accessories. I mean, you can go to her home and shop for
Mm.
days. So
So she's gonna be my best friend.
yes, yes.
Mhm. Oh, John is here. He says, good night, family. And he's not even putting out his head. Okay, no problem. It's a stone. Thank God I move it to the back.
Maybe he's cooking tonight.
Cooking, he cook a good split pea soup. and I didn't get some. Not even post just a small piece of pigtail. He could have folded it up in foil paper. From his house to here is an overnight mail.
Oh, he cooked put pigtails the other night.
God,
Yeah.
yes.
I was like, if I could just get about 2 or 3 of those pigtails, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So let me tell you a greedy part of me. So one time I bought about what, 4 pigtail, 5 pigtail. And I say I'm gonna make soup and I'm gonna make dumplings. So I have to boil like the pigtail for a good 2 hours. Just to make it so. And one person cannot wait until the pigtail finish cook. So by the time it finished cook, I have so much less, and then I start quarreling. I put so much in the pot. If it wasn't so greedy, I would have more to eat. So quarreling. I love pigtail. I love, love pigtail.
So the key is when you're buying for your family, right, and you're cooking, just put another extra pack in for yourself.
It's still good out. And it's not my fault. I don't know whose fault it is. I put your hand down. I take no blame for the pigtail that get lost in the pot. So I love pigtail, and Errol love pigtail, and Alan love pigtail and dumpling.
I haven't had a pigtail since I was a child.
Mm.
Mm.
One time I cook it, and then I didn't know what to do with it because it was not enough like to make the soup. And then I put some color in and I strew it. Ah, Doris. Oh, I don't know what happened to the pigtail. I just see just a few pieces in a pot.
Oh,
And shame took me over.
Veronica, I had some yesterday and I barbecued it. It was so good. I made barbecue.
This is the end of the show.
So Doris, this is the time you're supposed to give the invite. Come on now.
You know what? This is the end of the show, and we're saying good night to everyone and to everybody. To Gloria, especially that Doris. No wonder Doris lose tonight. So I win. Veronica win, and Doris got
I'm calling you, Doris.
2.7. Oh, you make barbecue pigtail?
Yes.
Oh, so how did it taste?
Good.
I cannot barbecue.
Put it in your broiler, put the oven on broil, and put it right under there and let it brown it and do it. It does it just like the grill.
So you boil it first, right? Soft.
Yep. Yes.
Barbecue it.
Yep. I put barbecue sauce on it, put it under the broiler and let it sizzle and get all nice like it came from the grill.
So how so you gotta get
only thought of yourself.
9 pieces. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. So you have to turn the oven and broil.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you put in it though? The barbecue sauce?
Yeah, you put barbecue sauce on it, you baste it, and you put it under it, and then you'll cook it. You'll see it get dark, like when you're doing it on the grill to the color you like. Mm-hmm. You turn it on the other side, you baste it, and you just let it get nice and chocolate, a little bit chocolatey, like nice and dark and it grill it just like on the grill. You get you could see a little burn if you let it get that dark.
One question: is there any left?
No.
If there is none, don't call it for 2 days. I am telling you, put her out for punishment. 2 whole days, don't call her. Let her think about the wrong that she has done. Barbecue pigtail. So I can do it. Okay, so I'm gonna buy 5 pieces. 5 pieces would not be enough. I don't think that Errol is gonna be here for that.
My mom used to cook the pigtails with rice and gravy.
Yes. Anyway, you cook pigtail, I'm just a friend, so that's okay. Half cook it properly. I'm just a friend.
Oh, you know how it's good to tax? Have you ever made stew peas? The stew green peas or dry peas, and you put the pigtail in it and you put it on rice. You can put little dumplings in it. Good.
Sounds
I
delicious.
cannot make that West Indian pot. There are certain pots that I cannot make. So Errol brother made it one time. And if my tongue could have go in the bottom of the pot, that would have been my favorite thing. I would have licked that pot from the bottom come up. And one time he made a oil down, huh? I said, if the pot is not burned, this will be the last time you ever enter my kitchen. So he burned the pot, the bottom of the pot get a little, and there was pigtail at the bottom. Our Father in heaven, I was the best friend. All my anger, everything. Oh Lord, pigtail, God, I love pigtail. I love pork. I could hustle down a pig if I think I must get a pig for a pet.
Yeah.
I might eat the whole broadside of the pig alive. So I'm gonna leave pig where it is. But I love, yes, I do love pigtail. And it's funny, I never eat pork as a child growing up. It's a meat that I would never put in my mouth
Mm.
until I came to Canada, and then Errol's mom, oh God, she can cook. She can cook. When she cook, it doesn't matter what she cook. It takes your soul away. She cooks some West Indian food, man. I'm not big at West Indian food, but because everything I cook is totally look different than to what they cook. But yes, that's good. I could make a pilau, but I think now that my son make a better pilau than me. But I could make a good pilau. What I yet still to understand how to make is saltfish sauce that look as the Grenadian saltfish sauce. No matter what I do, my own always come out totally different. It looks different, but it tastes good. So I went to Grenada 1 year, and my brother said, and they having some cookout and down on the dock. So if I could make some saltfish sauce, and they thought that I could make saltfish sauce. I'm like them, so I made it totally different. So I brought down the huge wash pan of saltfish sauce. By the time I get back home, he called. He says, "Mom, where's Texas?" She said, "Oh, she coming up the stairs." He says, "Tell her to make a U-turn. Whatever she cook, tell her cook the same thing because it's done and bring it back." So you had to get somebody to run to the store to pick up a whole set of saltfish and to make it again to bring it down. He says, "Listen, I want that same thing for the whole week." How long are you here? I go like 3 weeks. He said, "Perfect. Make it every single day." I don't. So I cannot make. The Errol could make it. He make like a West Indian saltfish sauce, but I make it come out and it come out totally different. But I guess it tastes the same. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So hey,
Yeah. So maybe
yours knows though.
they're the same boat. I make a mix a whole set of stuff. I make all kind of thing, but I mix it to any fancy way that I want. But it come out good.
That's good.
I have to travel I'm to Florida for barbecue pigtail.
Oh yeah.
So Veronica,
Yes.
I'll pick you up on the way in.
I'm 5 minutes away from Doors. That's why I'm so surprised.
I'm telling you. Well, Doris, yeah, Doris, so how much pieces you made?
So now I only made 3 pieces.
Oh my goodness.
Really, I didn't mean to make that song. I did
That's
not
what I
mean like
had.
to make that song.
Three
That's what I
pieces.
had.
That 3 pieces. That is that worth putting it open? I mean, turning the stove on.
Well, it was three. It was 3 whole pigtails, not 3 long pigtails. That's enough. It's me, myself, and I.
I agree with Veronica, but at the end of the day, was it worth it?
Oh yes, it was.
Doris is a hypocrite. Just
But
saying.
you see, I don't cook too much because then I'll eat it all, and too much of it is not good. So I just cook just the right amount, so I don't go overboard. You know.
Yeah, but the next time you decide to cook those barbecue pigtails, just give me a warning. Just say, hey, I'm inviting you over the barbecue pigtail. That's all you got to say. You don't even have to complete the sentence. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, we had a good night. I'm going to do some posting. So it was nice. I've been here. I love the program tonight. We talk about depression. We talk about getting help. We talk about mental illness. And we understand a lot more now how to treat people that is around us. And we'll do better so that people could embrace their truth with our truths. And we all can come together and talk about it one day. And I just hope that everybody will come back on. I will send out another meeting call for everybody to come on. So I'll do it tomorrow morning. Please the Lord. Tomorrow, please the Lord. Tomorrow is what? Thursday. So we don't have a night program tomorrow, which is good. So it's just so I have the morning, which is from 8 to 10, and then I have the 2:30. Oh, so that's all I have tomorrow. That's hopefully people don't just come and say, well, could you come on Zoom so we can talk, please? I just have this problem and we can talk. Okay. So I had a long holiday, so I would not be so flustered if I go on. That's okay. So see you guys and thank you so much. And Mr. John Cleese, who is sleeping, I guess. So love you guys and talk to you tomorrow morning. Thank you and God bless. Love you.
Love you
This is
guys too.
X and Warren on Gemfm. Love you guys.
Good night,
Talk to
Jim
you.
FM.
Okay.
Good night,
Bye,
ladies.
Doris.
Good
Love
night.
you.
Good
Bye,
night.
Veronica. Love
Bye.
you.
Love you too.
Love
See
you.
you. Okay, love you. Love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.